Alright boys, this is gonna be a breakdown of our first point hold that we did yesterday. So this was not a great team, that we did end up winning against, but this is a composition that is pretty new to us, and I just wanted to kind of go over because we did lose this first fight, and obviously we ended up full holding them for 4 minutes the second time round, but I think it'll be good to look over exactly what happened, break down like every little bit of movement, and just see, maybe what we can do differently, how we can play this composition. Before we start, if we look at the composition, this is our Junkrat, Hanzo, Diva, Orisa, Mercy, Anna. Now, Anna was originally the hero that I thought would be good in the composition. We played it a week ago. Alex kind of suggested that maybe it didn't give enough healing, that kind of stuff. So we were actually probably going to try run Moira. I didn't actually notice that when we came out, so that was my bad, not making the call. But what's interesting is originally I thought Anna would be best, and in this scenario I actually think Anna is the better pick, but like for this exact thing. Normally I think we would still go Moira because it's a more rounded hero, but you'll see that like Anna does great work. Shields never inhibit her healing, she can hit nades, she can play safe. Like, Anna did great in this scenario, but obviously that means no coalescence for the second point and that kind of stuff. So we'll get into it here, and we'll start seeing what's happening. Now, first push they come in, I'm going for a pretty deep kind of spam, probably a bit deep considering that they have a suck, which nearly cucks me, which would have been a very bad start. Thankfully, team's able to get and sort my mistake out. I think Alex even hits a nice shot on me here. The first thing I wanted to note actually is Alex's positioning. I think, I'm not sure, maybe everyone did, but it's very important for everyone to know where Anna is. Because obviously this is the perfect position for Anna to be in. Like, they have nothing that's going to kill Alex in this situation. So, like, perfect positioning, great line of sight, but we all need to remember that she's there. So that means when we do push around these corners, any of us, when we're behind these pillars, we need to recognize that we're not going to be receiving Anna heals. So it's less on the healer to find an angle to hit us, and more on everyone else to recognize where Anna is, because all we have is Anna Mercy. Mercy by herself is not going to be putting enough healing down. So this is something that's kind of apparent when we're pushing up. It's harder for us to be aggressive because even if we get a pick and push, we're going in 5v5. So that's one thing that we should consider more, or I should consider more, but I think everyone probably did have an idea. There wasn't any like specific example of us fucking this up. So the first fight here, and I immediately want to like start talking about opposition and the kind of play style of this comp. So this composition, the idea is as actually more of a counter bastion composition, and why it's so strong is because we can play really split. You've got Hanzo, who, you know, you're able to take these high grounds super nicely. You've got pick potential, high shield spam. Junkrat, again, you know, I can get lots of movement, lots of angles. I can put down lots of damage on shields, and I don't need to be close up. Rue, again, movement. You got Mercy that can fly in. Essentially, the only person who doesn't have a good amount of movement ability, who's going to be the core, is Andrew on Orisa. So first, we got to think kind of how we're going to like set this up on our defense, because right now we're kind of playing as if we were playing a double shield composition right here. Because right now they're running a Junkrat, we're running a Junkrat. They will probably beat our shield war, and they could start pushing in. So kind of like we want to do on Hanamura first point, is we want to use the advantage of all of our spam and all of our angles, and the fact that they've got to push for a choke by playing very passively in terms of tanks. So I think having a shield and having Orisa stay up here doesn't really gain us much benefit. So I think it would be nicer to see if Orisa, you're playing passively around these pillars, you've got more line of sight, shield, because they've got to push out to us anyway. That gives more time for them to put damage down on us. Secondly, just the positioning of everyone. So Rue, obviously you're kind of going to be around the tank lineup. There's no real reason for you to be directly in line of sight because of your defense matrix, which is your major thing. you can be looking up on these high grounds, defense matrixing down here, poking from above. You can kind of be these diagonals here. It'll be a lot easier if we're all further back for Rue to find better angles, because obviously if we're up here, there's not many positions Rue can play safely. But for example, if Orisa, you're behind this pillar with Ana healing, Rue, you can kind of chill up here, like looking down for them. You can go all the way across here. Like there's more room for you to play, for you to be hidden from spam. On Junkrat, I'm going to essentially just be looking to put down pressure. So I'm going to always be playing around shields, or try to play around shields for safety, or just further back. I don't really need to be in there unless I need to get a one hit. And Hanzo, with this composition, you're really looking to try to take angles. So obviously we can shield spam them down, but we're on single shield. So in the end, we'll probably lose that even with Junkrat Hanzo. So as you do, like, look at this angle's amazing. You know, peeking up, shooting down here. This angle's really strong, like super strong for Hanzo, so immediately you want to be looking for angles on them. You don't want to be just shooting shields, you're looking for a pick. But we'll kind of see how it goes on here. So, we're playing this well. Because we're a bit deep, we kind of have to start backing off. If we started back here, around this corner right now, I think we would be in a better position, but again, doesn't really matter too much. I think the next point actually would be Nate on Mercy. In this scenario, Ana's good, like, got line of sight on everyone and can put heal down on everyone. I think you just let Ana heal a bit more and just focus on damage, because we're so centered around spamming them out, and that 30% damage is so important that even though you're flicking to heal for, you know, a second as you would usually do on Mercy, I think the fact that we've got Ana healing and Ana's going to be putting enough healing in means that, like, just kind of focus a bit more on that damage as you're doing here. So we're kind of playing passively, spamming them out pretty hard, which is nice. Snazzy, good pick. Yeah. Again, it would be nice to see a little more of a, like, flank from you at this point, but fine, it's all looking good. Actually, one thing I want to know at this point, looking at compositions from Rue's perspective, is you've actually D.Va against their comp is really nice, because they've got Moira, Ana, Orisa, and Junkrat. So you want to, when you can, eat Moira's orbs. I mean, that's a 10-second cooldown. If you can eat one of her healing orbs or damage orbs, that's a huge win. Every time Orisa goes for a suck, you want to eat that. I mean, we know the power of a decent pool, especially with Junkrat on the team. You can eat that. Ana's nades, you really want to be looking to eat Ana's nades. That's your #1 priority. Because if Ana's not nading, she's doing fuck all. Like, she may as well just be on Mercy at that point. And Junkrat, whilst you're not actually looking to just eat Junkrat spam, unless you're specifically saving someone, you want to save it for the high impact things. The fact there is Junkrat, whenever you are eating, you know, a Moira orb or something, you're also, like, eating Junkrat spam. So that's kind of a passive thing in which you're going to be doing a lot of impact. So you really want to be looking to eat those specific projectiles. So we start putting more pressure in. I'm probably a bit deep here, honestly. I shouldn't need to be at that point, and because of that, I have to back out. Snazzy, now you've taken a really good position here. This is the point, like, Snazzy, that's really good. I mean, they're all looking up front. You've got a really nice angle here. Like, you can hit head, you're putting pressure. Like, if they want to commit to you, the only thing they have is a suck, but hopefully you can save your double jump to get out of that. So that, yeah, that's exactly as I was mentioning earlier, kind of the exact place you want to be. All looking pretty strong now. If anything, I would suggest at this point for Mercy and Hanzo to kind of split off and become a bit of a duo. Because of the fact we have this healing from Ana in this point, and as I was mentioning, I think that's going to be putting down more than enough healing. I think it'd be quite cool if, Nate, you went off with Snazzy at this point, and if this was a damage boosted Hanzo, then we're really looking at some dangerous kind of angles. So that'd be a cool thing to try to do. So we're just going on here. Their Junkrat's coming back in. We just get an ult here. Very nice. So this point becomes cleanup. Yeah, Rue goes in deep. We're just finishing them off. Now, as they rotate in again, we want to kind of look for our similar starting thing. So they're going to come into this angle here. We got trap bomb. We're looking to just get a suck on them, which I'm sure that you do. So yeah, they put double shield down. You chuck a suck out. Perfect. You know, maybe if I timed my Junkrat shots a bit better, we could have got that pick. Irrelevant. It was exactly what we should have done. And we're back onto our kind of, you know, choke battle. So this is where it starts actually breaking down. And there are a few mistakes, or I wouldn't say mistakes, just things that I think we could play better if we look here. So, going over what we did last time. So I'm going for a different angle on this one, but I missed this jump. So ideally, I'm looking to land on here because I mean, yeah, as a Junkrat, that is pretty much a perfect angle where you're going to get heavy spamming. But the sacrifice I'm making is I'm looking for picks here, not shield damage. But that means they've got a moment to kind of push into you guys. Now, the combo we had and we were going to go for here is pull dragon, which is massive. And if we played this off, or if this worked out a bit more for us, this would have been perfect, you know. We pull dragon and I'm spamming their backline, so if they're backing out of dragon, they're going into Junkrat. So it was a really nice crossfire that could have worked. But you see it starts falling down here, and there's two reasons. First of all, I'll miss this jump. Second of all, Snazzy, you're taking the high angle, which is really nice, but kind of like I was mentioning with Farah, taking an up angle in front of where they would be looking for the team anyway is risky because, I mean, whilst this may have been a little bit early too, for example, if they're pushing here and they're spamming out here, and all you do is peek up here, it's very easy for them to just look up to top corner, you know, shoot things, shoot a suck. If you're around this side here, as you were before, for them to look at you is a greater change. It's like when you're Farah and you're spamming from right above your team versus going all the way behind them and spamming from behind them. It takes a lot more line of sight off you. So I think that meant that they were quicker to pull that suck off. They got it, and it was kind of a fucking BS suck. But what happens here is Rue comes in with the defense matrix really nicely, but that's put us in a bad position with low defense matrix. And you can see here, we got low defense matrix. I'm not in position to spam them out. I'm going for a flank at this point because I fucked this one up. I've either got to wait out to get up here or go for a flank. I just go for a flank. Definitely the wrong choice. And they start pushing forward. With them pushing forward here, Snazzy, we're kind of in this bunch here. We're not going for that split play, so they can push onto us as a team. With the shield being pretty deep, we're backing out quite a lot here, which gives them quite a positive push. Again, it would be quite nice to start pretty far back. And then what happens here was kind of unstoppable because a second after defense matrix goes down, a big nade lands. That was kind of a snowball that was unlucky because we had to use defense matrix to save Snazzy because they got a good pull, and I wasn't there putting enough pressure to push them back so that they could push the whole time. So like at this point, I'm only just starting to come around the back of them, and they're going forward. So the timings didn't work out there. With them hitting a big nade, you know, yeah, Nate does the right thing. It's game on, and he's damaging. We go for this dragon, which fucking could have won it. So close. Just gets picked off mid-dragon. Unlucky. At this point, it's kind of a lost cause. They got a nanoed guy coming at us, and I'm about to get picked off from behind them because I'm alone. But there is one thing to note is, Andrew, because we know where Anna is, think about your backing off position. So as you got pushed in, you started going over to the left side of here to drop down. During this whole point here, around here, dropping down, you're completely out of Ana heals. I know you're naded at this point, but you won't be naded the whole time. So as you're starting to get pushed, look instead of backing out this way, to kind of back out wherever it is, backing out towards point, which will allow some more time for Ana to hit heals on you. Yeah, as you can see there. And then, yeah, it's starting to break down. Fucking... Watch this shit, where is it?
The pain is coming.
Look at this fucking badass sleep. That is a bit dirty. That's a bit dirty.
Out of my way.
Last thing, let's quickly look at it from Ana's perspective, because Ana won in this fight, without a doubt. If they didn't hit that nade, we would have been fine. Ana was probably their best player too. I felt her when I was on fire, and I think Snazzy did too. So, yeah, she just lobs the nade in, flat on. That's one of the issues of having single shield. Double shield, it's a lot easier to dodge those. And during a messy fight like that, it's really hard for Ru to specifically look for a nade. Although ideally, we could eat that. But yeah, I mean, the last thing to look at from here is kind of Ana's perspective. Because you'll see, Ana's completely fine. Ana doesn't get naded, no pressure on her, no shield stopping her healing. We're gonna get nano, we're getting nades. Like, the Ana worked out fine. So, although, yeah, Moira probably would have been the better all-round pick to start off here, I think the Ana was completely fine. Yeah, and then obviously once that nade hits, it's over. But yeah, I think that was a quick breakdown of the first point. First fight was definitely better than the second fight. I think we should, on this composition, look to play a bit more passively from the tank lineup. And Snazzy, if you're kind of constantly looking for the angles from the get-go, such as, I mean, this one up here where you were going for beginning of second fight or middle of first fight, actually, that's the kind of perfect angle that we're looking for, especially when they're running double shields. You could also come up here where I tried to go and shoot down onto them from here when they're pushing up. And yeah, I mean, the ideal situation is we're playing so split that even if they hit a nade, it's not going to hit more than the tanks. Well, to be honest, it's not going to hit more than one of the tanks because, again, these tanks don't need to be right next to each other. But yeah, I mean, when it comes down to it, we end up absolutely destroying these guys. This was quite an in-depth little talk about every little move. In honesty, it's not realistic to get every little thing right, and a lot of this is just foresight, you know. If my flank worked, I would have said, oh, look at that massive play. It didn't. It looks like trash. If Snazzy hit that massive dragon there, it would have been, you know, well, this is how you do it, but it didn't work. So, you know, this is kind of how I would suggest that competition's played. I think there are a few things you can hopefully take away from this. And yeah, I think the main reason why I wanted to look at that is this is not a great team. And we do beat them, and we full hold them with our next composition. We should have full held them with that one too. But hey, GG's overall. There were a lot of good things though. I will mention some good things. First of all, Alex on Ana, you're doing great. You were looking for the offensive nades. Maybe it's hard to hit an offensive nade against double shields, that's for sure. But you were looking, so I guess that's the major thing. Andrew, I was watching your fortifies. Your fortifies were looking much better. You were waiting. You had your fortify for when you got naded. That kind of stuff. Rue, like when you needing to save someone's life in D.Va, like obviously you're not playing much D.Va at the moment, but you can see the second Staz is in danger, you're saving him. The second I'm in danger, you're saving him. Nate, yeah, I think as far as a Mercy play, you played that pretty perfectly. The second people were naded, you're only damage boosting. I don't think there's... Oh, and you're last alive. That's a big thing on Mercy, not getting picked first. Big pog. And Snazzy, yeah, I mean, you got the picks. You got the kills. Especially when you started taking the angles. It fell down just because of one nade. That's all it was. Everyone did well, and overall, I think we're good at this composition. I think we could be really good at it. And especially if they're playing a Bastion. If they're playing a Bastion and they are very much doing the same thing with a Bastion, so less movement, then it's even more important to take those angles, even more important for D.Va to hide and not be in line of sight, even more important for me to not feed and just put constant pressure on. But yeah, seems good. If any of you found this useful, slash if any of you watched it this far, that's awesome. If you want me to do any more of this, I'd love to. If you don't want me to do any more of this, happy to do that too. Let me know. But I think we can all improve. But I think we're all fucking great. Thanks for watching, boys.